Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, October the 24th, 2022. Monday, October the 24th. Let's see what is going on. We have Lily talking to Devon, and they talk about, what transpired, the conversation between Nate and 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 Devon. He's telling Lily what happened when he went over to Nate's house. And she's like, why would he think some of the things she was saying, like, why would he think that? And then other things where he says, Nate says that I don't want anybody to run the company he built with Neil and him, uh, but him, together with him. And so she goes, well, you did you did take a long time to agree to merge the companies. And he looked at her, he goes, I didn't take that long. He says, that was a huge decision to make. You need to stop and take some time and think before you make a decision like that, Lily. And she goes, yeah, you're right about that. And then there was something else she said, about not wanting to take the input from anyone else because it's not Neil. So she goes, do you think there's some truth to that? Because I mean, if there is, you may want to think about, do some thinking that so this way you'll get along better with your next CEO, COO. And he just looks at her. And I was getting ready to say, see, he don't know your COO has left the building. See, what did you do wrong, Lily, with your COO? You have the nerve to say that I was like, oh my goodness. So then he says, okay, so what happened with Jill? Oh, she was really upset, this, that, and the other. But she still wants to go through with the IPO. He goes, wait, she what? He goes, after what almost happened? He goes, no, no, I'm not gonna agree to that. And so she goes, well, I mean, it's Jill owns half of the company. He goes, yeah, and I own the other half, you know. So she goes, you know what? We'll table that for now. We'll come back to that discussion later. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what part of no don't you understand, Lily? And then my next thing is, Devon, why are you even talking to Lily? Lily is the CEO for Jill. You're not a CEO for Jill. You're an equal owner with Jill. So he needs to be talking to Jill, period, and letting Jill know exactly where he's coming from. That is ridiculous. I'm like, oh, he goes, after what just on, he goes, we don't know who the CEO is, Lily. Yeah, but Nate won't have his share to sell to them, so they won't be able to get a majority anyway. And it's like, oh my goodness, stop it. This is her not understanding what it's like to run a true business, period. Period. Oh, anyway, let's move on from that. So Devon picks up his phone and he calls Tucker. And he asked Tucker to meet him at Noah's Club because he told Lily, look, I'm not for sure it's not Tucker. She goes, even though he says, she goes, look, Lily, I have to spend some time with him. I need to feel him out. I'm not going to just take him on his word that it's not him. I don't know if it's him or not, but I need to spend some time with him to see. So Tucker agrees to go over there. When he got the call, he and Audra were talking in his room, aka his daughter. I still say it because she checks in with daddy every night, if you ask me, you know. And they were talking, and he was saying, yeah, Devon still hasn't told him, who the person selling the secrets were. And he told Audra about his meeting with Victoria, sitting down for lunch. And, he's like, yeah, he thinks it's her. And then he told her about how Nikki ambushed him with that reporter. So, just nothing talk between the two of them. But he told her, look, you still find out, put your ears to the ground, see what you can find out. Right. So now we have Chance goes over to society and he's talking to Abby. She's shorthanded. Something's happening with the cook and just a hot mess, and she's really having to do a lot of work. But he came with flowers, wanting to take her out because he's going to be out a stakeout for the next night, and then she's got the restaurant booked out for 2 nights in a row after that. So they really weren't going to be able to spend too much time together. So she goes, you know what? Give me a few minutes. Let me see what I can juggle and work out because you're right. I want to go out with you, my husband, tonight. So she does. She makes it happen. They go into Devon's place, who I can't stand the decorations, but they're like, whoa, for it to be a nightclub, it is never that busy. It really is not that busy at all. They need to hire a few more extras to be partying in his nightclub. So they are headed for there, but Nate's already there. Noah's trying to, talk to Nate, see what's going on. He can see Nate's in a funk. And Nate is like, no, I wouldn't wish my attitude on my worst enemy. And so Noah's trying to talk to him and saying, yeah, you know, I know what you mean about things not going the way you want them to. My ex-girlfriend's in town and she is toxic. She's nothing but trouble. And he's just unloading about Audra and Nate's looking, I'm sorry, man. Listen, I would rather sit here alone with my drink. Don't you have any other customers you could talk to? Because I'm not good company tonight. So Noah says, okay, but you know what? I'm here if you ever want to talk, but you're right, I do have other customers. So Noah goes off, and then that's when Abby and Chance walk in, and they're happy to be there. Noah has, tells them where their seat is gonna be. And he says, I'm going to send you over some special drink, the house specials for tonight, and blah, blah, blah. So they're happy to be there. And Abby says, and he's sitting with them for a minute. And Abby says, oh, there's Nate. Maybe we should go say hi. He goes, oh, no, Nate's in the mood. You don't want to go say hi to him. Nope. I've already tried. Leave him alone. So she goes, oh, okay. He says he'd rather be alone. So she's still kind of looking at Nate, but then she's talking to Chance and looking at Chance and blah, blah, blah. And then Tucker comes in and she looks over. She goes, of course. The one night we choose to come out, he chooses to come to this place. Oh, this, that, and the other. He goes, Abby, this is Chance talking to her. Abby, look, just ignore him. This is for me and you, baby. We're out here. Nobody else matters. And she's like, I know. But, still, for what he came here to try to get next to my mother, that's not going to work. And then I am not going to let him get next to the most important person, which is our son. He goes, Abby, just calm down. Your mother is an adult. Your mother can handle her own. Yeah, but our son is not an adult. And Devon said that, he doesn't trust Tucker. He doesn't, know what Tucker's true intentions are. And so Chance looks at her. He goes, well, he obviously must have got over it somehow. She goes, what makes you say that? And he goes, look. And when she looks, there's Devon walking in, and he and Tucker hug each other, man hug, and she is looking like, what? Oh, what? Why? And he goes, Abby, you know what, honey? This is our night. Can you, just not get in other people's, let's just focus on us. We have so little time. Come on, camera. Goodness, it's all blurry here. There we go. We have so little time for us to be together. You're right. No, you're right. I'm happy to be with you. But she could not stop looking. Chance, you could just see kind of what, I'm getting so sick of this. You could just feel it on him. Like, if it's not one thing with her, it's another. And so Devon, after he and Tucker briefly say a few words, he looks over and sees Nate sitting there. Nate looks over and glares back. So they both glared at each other. And then Nate decides to put his drink down. And he's walking by Devon and Tucker. And Devon, as Nate passes, says, "Don't leave on our account." And Nate turns around. You know what? And then they go back into the same argument. Devon should have just let him go, right? But he had to say, you don't have to leave on our account. And that gets it started. So they're arguing, and you could hear their voices raising over the music, right? And Abby's like, oh, no, I need to go over there. She's looking like, oh no, let me go see what's happening. And Chance is like, no, honey, Abby, no. That looks like something that's going on between family. No, but Devon said that, he was upset at something, and I need to go calm that. And she goes, no, you sit here. You let me go over there and calm this down. And she goes, but I know them better than you. He goes, Abby, just sit right here, honey. I'm happy Chance took the upper hand on Abby, right? So Chance goes over there and he goes, excuse me, gentlemen. And they still talking. He goes, hey, the cop he is, the detective he is, calm it down. And he's looking at them both. He goes, this is not the place for this to be going on. Okay? And Devon says, you know what? You're right. You're right. This is not the place. And I'm not going to even waste any more of my time on you. And he's looking at Nate. And Nate says something back snarky to him. Like, no, I'm not going to waste my time on you. Something snarky. And Nate turns and he walks away. And Chance looks at Devon. He goes, and so now Noah walks around and says, hey, is everything okay here? And Devon shook Noah's hand. He goes, yeah, I'm sorry, man. No, everything is fine. Everything's fine. So Chance goes back to Abby and he goes, see, everything is fine. I handled it. And so, and mind you, Tucker is standing behind Devon, leaning against the wall, kind of playing with the little thing that little beads Noah has hanging from the ceiling, like, oh, I wonder, are they going to get into a fight here? Let's see what's going to happen. Tucker stayed right out of it. He was like, my son's a man. Handle your business, son. He did not even get involved. He would let it go to blows if it was going to. He didn't care, So Chance says, no, everything is fine. So she goes, yeah, but you see, it is all Tucker's fault. And Chance looks at her. He goes, I don't know what makes you say that. Tucker's name never came up in the whole conversation between Nate and Devon. And so she goes, yeah, but you see, he didn't do nothing to stop it either. And he goes, Abs, listen, honey. Now Devon and Tucker are sitting down, right? They're sitting down, and he goes, let's come on, let's focus back on us. Let's get out of their business. It's settled. And now this is where Tucker and Devon are sitting down. Abby could not, she had to stare at them the majority of the time. And Chance would glance at her and it's like, look, let's go into the art room. Because Devon told Tucker, hey, I have Dominic this weekend. Do you want to come meet him? Now, see, they weren't close enough. They're in a nightclub. They were not sitting close enough for Abby to be able, or she should not have been able to hear what they were saying because music was going on. And they weren't talking loud. But so he goes, Abby, honey, let's go and let's make out in the art room. Let's go do anything. She goes, what, you're tired of me trying to eavesdrop on Tucker and Devon's conversation? He goes, I think we need to be, focusing on us. It's our one night out. You're right. She gives him a kiss, but he goes, and let's look at this drink menu. It is so interesting. Let's see what else they got on the menu. Let's order us another drink. Let's go make out in the art room. Then let's get on the dance floor, make out on the dance floor. Let's just have some fun, you and I. So she goes, okay. And he hands her the drink menu. So he hands her the menu. He's looking at the menu, but she's back up to looking at Devon and Tucker. So he kind of glances at her and then he glances back down. And I thought, see, are they setting the stage for Chance to be dissatisfied with Abby? Because Abby is not happy unless she's stressing out over something. She has to always stress out over something, right? That will be an opening for Chelsea and Chance, but I kind of think I heard Chelsea's leaving the show. So because got to be headed that way. She's got nothing going on for her on the show. So then Nate leaves the club and he goes to Crimson Lights and he runs into Audra. Earlier, Audra was talking to Lily and, giving her some horrible advice about don't trust anybody. And Lily's like, well, no, I really don't feel that that's applicable to me because I trust my brother. Yeah, but money makes people turn on other people. And I'm like, Devon's a billionaire. Money didn't make him turn on anybody. He still hasn't. Now, he turned on Lily when he found out Lily was distracted when she was driving the car and she ran through the red light and the car hit, and caused that accident that ultimately Hillary and their baby died. Oh, he turned on her then for almost a year, right? But it had nothing to do with money, nothing to do with money. So I was thinking, oh, girl, Lily, don't listen to that crap. This girl. And then she finally said, but you know what? Here's the thing. One thing about IPOs, and I've done so many, and I'm thinking, have you guys really checked her out? Has she done so many? Were they successful? Or did they end up in corporate takeovers? Yeah. She goes, they have helped businesses realize their wildest dreams. And Lily's looking like, yeah, and she goes, don't let anybody keep you from reaching your dreams. And she's thinking, yeah, in her mind, I gotta talk Devon into that. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, stop it. So Lily has to leave. Audra's still sitting there. Nate comes in and he goes, yeah, I bet you don't want to see me, public enemy number one. And Audra's like, you're not public enemy number one to me. So ultimately she's talking to Nate. She's, saying, hey, come join me. And, and he goes, she says something about, I want to know why you did what you did. I'm just interested to know. And he goes, should you be having this conversation with me? Because she goes, look, I like a man who thinks out of the box and makes things happen. And Nate looks at her, he goes, should I remind you what side of the fence you should be on or something like that? She says, she goes, oh no, trust me, I know what side of the butters my bread. She said, but I'm interested. I would just like to know a little more insight from you. So now they go and sit down at the table. She goes, tell me, what was going on, what happened or whatever. She goes, and Nate says, look, you know what? I'm not naive enough to think anything that I tell you is going to stay right here at this table because it just doesn't work that way. I know it doesn't work that way. So, I'm choosing not to say anything more to you. Now, if you want more information, I suggest you talk to Devon because ultimately it's Devon's, like Devon is the one with the problem. Same thing Nate's always saying, blames Devon for everything. So Nate gets up and walks away from her and leaves her sitting at the table. And I thought, see, Audra's for one showing her colors. She has no loyalties. For one, none of them knew her from Adam 2 months ago. Okay. And Nate was like, huh. In my mind, I'm thinking, is it going to end up being Nate at the end of the day, busting Audra and Tucker out? I don't know. I don't know. But Audra, she was bolding out with that conversation. I could see how she likes to cause a lot of chaos. So let's go to Comic Corner. Comic Corner. LaShanta says Lily needs to be ashamed of herself, trying to guilt Devon into seeing things her way. like he didn't want the merger. He was right. He was right. Lily is still pushing, and Devon's telling her no. Shaking my head. I'm glad he said he's done with Nate. Now here comes the talk. Yeah, and it's always the talk about family. How do we put it back together again? Well, you know what? You patch it up. Nate is your cousin. You patch it up, Lily, with him. Um, and then if truth be told, now that I think about it, Nate's mother is Olivia. I forget Nate's father's name, but he was Hastings. Malcolm raised Nate the majority of Nate's life. And Malcolm and Neil were brothers. Yes, Lily found out when she was an adult that Malcolm was in fact her father, not Neil. But they actually are not family. They're not family unless his father, Hastings, whatever his name is, was somehow related to Neil. But I don't know. So guess what? Now let's dig deep. Young and the Restless fans, Malcolm's father, and I'm going to look it up. If anybody knows Malcolm's father's name, please put it in the chat. Please put it in the chat. Okay. Was Malcolm's father related to Neil? Oh, wait a minute. They are cousins. They are cousins. That's how they're related. I just remembered the connection. Drusilla, Lily's mother, and Olivia were sisters. That is it. They were night and day sisters. Woo! Olivia, polished doctor, Mamie's pride and joy. Mamie was the maid for the Abbotts, and she was so proud of her Olivia. Drusilla, on the other hand, was a spitfire, wildfire, just ashamed of the fact that her mother was a maid. You know, just as a matter of fact, Drusilla couldn't read when she first started on the scene in The Young and the Restless. She and Olivia were night and day. That's how Nate and Lily are cousins. That's how that happened. Okay, it took me a minute, yeah, guys, daily recap fans. It took a minute, but there we go. But still, so no, we don't have to do that research. Nate's father, who cares? Yeah, I don't care what his name was. Because no, that's not how they were related. Okay, let's see. LaShanta says, Jack is so gullible for Diane. See how he treats Phyllis, though? So every time Diane told Allie, it's because of her that she knows her family. Oh, really? It was because of Tucker, huh? Dito says, there are so many holes in Diane's story that I don't even know where to start. Jeremy seems like he's going to be an interesting character. I know. I kind of think they're going to bring that Jeremy to, because somebody else told Diane that they were on their way to Genoa City. She got another text, and Tucker was already there. Because I was thinking, who else could be coming? I think it's going to be that Jeremy guy. Because see, we don't know what part of that Cock and Mamie story she told Jack was true, right? I think Diane dropped the dime on Jeremy. My friend Ava thinks Diane is married to Jeremy. There may be definitely some more to this. Either way, we both think Jeremy is out for revenge. And the best way to get revenge is kidnap Harrison. I don't know where they're going to go with that revenge story, but I think that because that Jeremy is going to be a villain. We need some villains. Tucker is not villain enough. And they're not going to make Tucker a villain because Tucker is a long-standing, reoccurring Young and the Restless person, realistically. Tucker is so charming, but he wants Devon and Lily's company. He said he had the same thought Nate had of taking over Devon and Lily's company. Plus, he's still planning to take the company, even though he assures Devon that he's not on the scene for a takeover. Yeah, he may take it over, but he wants to share it and run it with Devon. Tucker doesn't want that company for himself. Tucker doesn't ever stay in Genoa City for long. So Devon it will be all his in the end. Tucker doesn't need it. It's always the thrill of the chase for Tucker, the conquest of it all. But anyway, that was it for today, Monday's episode of The Young and the Restless. I will be back for Tuesday's episode tomorrow. Have a great day.